Mr. Dudley, you referred to the Credit Suisse arrangement as ending too big to jail. Credit Suisse was involved in an operation that involved creating secret offshore accounts in the names of sham entities and foundations. How many of the names of the Americans who were involved in creating those accounts were turned over as part of that criminal prosecution?
I don't know the answer to that, Senator.
You don't know the answer to that?
No, I don't.
Well, the answer is none. And can you explain why that is?
I can't explain why that is, Senator.
That's just a fundamental fact of that case that you're presenting as too big to jail. How many of the Americans who created these secret accounts were prosecuted?
I don't know, Senator.
Well, the answer is none, because no names were turned over. Did the information related to that prosecution, which you said shows the Fed is now involved in ending too big to jail, did the information come from the Fed that led to that prosecution?
I don't know, Senator.
It's hard to imagine, since a casual reader of the newspaper would know that it came from Senator Levin's hearings and the report that his committee put out that had an extensive disclosure that led to this investigation. So the basic information on that case is that hundreds of Credit Suisse employees were involved in the scheme to create these secret offshore accounts in the name of sham entities. So if we've ended too big to jail, how many of those hundreds of the Credit Suisse employees have been indicted for criminal activity?
I don't know the answer to that.
Would you be surprised if the answer is zero?
I'd be surprised. Probably.
Well, I find it fascinating that you're presenting this as the end of too big to jail. How many people are actually in jail right now because of that investigation?
It was end up too big to jail for the corporation which pled guilty. The corporation pled guilty.
You don't put corporations in jail.
There was no, the argument that was made a year ago or a year and a half ago was that large financial institutions could not plead guilty to crimes because this could destabilize those institutions, which could lead to problems. And the view was that was unfair, because the view was, why should these entities be too big to jail? Why should they be able to escape guilty pleas because of their size? And I think we've actually set a new precedent over the last year where no bank is too big to be found guilty if they've committed crimes.
Okay, but that doesn't involve jail. Jail involves putting people in jail. I think ordinary Americans would find it fascinating that this plea agreement, which basically involved a financial payment, a fine, constitutes somehow ending no big to jail if nobody's going to jail.